emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Don't take it personally. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Don't take it personally. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Don't take it personally.
Blame it on the party, blame it on the booze. Grab a gun if you want it. Make fake news on the news. Wipe your tears, cry, baby, baby, baby. Ooh, it's not about you. I don't even get it. Why you got the blues and the world on your shoulders? Walk in every shoe, wipe your tears, dream up and dance like we all lose. It's not about you.
Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Personally, personally. Don't take it personally. Don't take it. Don't take it personally. Don't take it. Don't take it personally. Personally, personally. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally.
Blame it on the party, blame it on the booze. Grab a gun if you want it. Make fake news on the news. Wipe your tears, cry, baby, baby, baby. Ooh, it's not about you. Baby, baby, ooh. I don't even get it. Why you got the blues and the world on your shoulders? Walk in every shoe, wipe your tears, dream, go and dance like we all lose. It's not about you.
Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Don't take it. Don't take it personally. Personally, personally. Don't take it personally. Don't take it. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Personally, personally, personally. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally.
All right, hey you guys, welcome to my live stream. It's good. This is just a short. I'm probably going to not be super long, but there's a couple of points I want to make to you. Last night I did a stream on the Marine whistleblower, or the military, not Marine, the military whistleblower, David Grusch, and we talked about, I showed different videos that are on News Nation and kind of, analyzed what was going on last night while I made some soy tacos. And I will make sure that I have either an end screen credit on this particular video, just to kind of, if you want to go take a look at that one. Also, I'm going to source some articles that I'm talking about today and some videos I'm going to review on it today as well. I have there's a poll on my community page. I'm going to share the screen here. I'm taking a poll. I started a poll, do you believe UFO whistleblower David Grusch? So far, I've gotten 4 votes, and 25% of the people say yes, and 75% of the people have said no so far. I'm going to go ahead and share this in the chat with you. So my community page right here. Okay. This is streaming on my Facebook page, my Not My Rabbit Hole Facebook page right now, and it's also I'm also streaming on Twitter at the same time. I realized that I didn't give a whole lot of times up on that I was going to be live streaming today. Okay, so just want to let you be aware of that poll. I'm interested to find out what you think. Mainly for me right now covering this topic, I'm just pretty much wanting to analyze it. I don't want to, go one way or the other and say, oh, this is definitely not true. This is definitely true. However, I'm just, doing commentary on the media and the information that's coming out there. However, I think it's really important to have discernment about what you were looking at and how it applies, and compare information from different people. So one of the first things that I want to bring up today, and I'm going to just go to my, there's a article by, that came out on Vox, and it's a Vox UFO article. I'm going to give you the title here. It's actually, I'm pulling it up out of my email. So just give me a second. Hope everybody is having a good time. This is Sunday. I am recording this or live streaming this on June 11th, 2023. And it is a Sunday. I don't know about you guys, but I'm enjoying my Sunday. I've been having some coffee. I actually made myself some chicken nuggets, which is not necessarily the most healthiest thing to have for breakfast. It was kind of more like a brunch, but it was mighty tasty. All right, I'm going to share the page here. Again, I am sourcing fair use. We are, critiquing the public and educating ourselves, and just kind of. All right, so this article was written on yesterday, published at 9 a.m. By reporter Andrew Prokop. What's up with those claims? The U.S. has recovered UFOs is the title of the article. And I'm going to skim through some parts of it here for you, but I'll start with the first. Okay, first of all, it's Andrew Prokop, the person who wrote the article. All right, the reporter is a senior politics correspondent at Fox, covering the White House elections and political scandals and investigations. He's worked at Fox since the site's launch in 2014, and before that, he worked as a research assistant at the New Yorker's Washington, D.C. bureau. The headline is a bold one. Intelligence officials say U.S. has retrieved craft of non-human origin. The story in the publication, The Debrief, reads, the phrase, "whoa, if true," was coined for a situation like this, especially the if true part. Here's what seems true enough at this point. A former government official named David Grusch, who has worked in the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the National Reconnaissance Office, has gone public and is saying some curious things. Grusch says that in recent years, he worked with the federal government's Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force. Yes, that's a real thing, set up to investigate reports of strange flying objects. Grusch says that he's been told of secret government programs that have intact and partially intact vehicles of non-human origin. He says he's been told both the U.S. government and other governments have been engaged in publicly unknown Cold War to try to reverse engineer technology from these craft. Grusch says all this information has been illegally withheld from Congress. So, Before he left government this April, he filed a whistleblower complaint with the intelligence community's Inspector General and gave information to Congress too. And he's saying some other things. Naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you uncover dead pilots. Grusch told News Nation in an interview, and believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true. But, well, is it true? Some purported whistleblowers are truth tellers with solid information. Some are kooks, and some fall somewhere between those two poles. Grusch admits he has no first-hand knowledge of these purported programs. He hasn't seen any craft or certainly any dead alien pilots. Rather, he says, he's been repeating what other people have told him. Who are these people? Does he really know what they are saying is true? And what evidence does he have? And personally, I think that these are some really good questions because, again, he is sourcing people that he is not, there's no attribution to who these people are. And the problem with that is the reason why giving attribution to your source and naming your source is so important is because when you name the source, then the person who's consuming the material can say, okay, that person has credibility. Or we know exactly where that's coming from. And I think that this is the biggest part about this whistleblower on whether or not we can take his information and trust it. One of the videos that I showed last night was that that famous scientist with the Asian guy with the white hair. I think it's right now Michiko Keiko. He was interviewed. Probably really said his name wrong, but if you see I recognize him. I've seen him before speak, so as an expert. And he says the problem is there's no smoking gun. There's no we still haven't seen the craft. We don't know the people that are actually talking about this. There is no DNA. There's no data. And when you're being scientific, you have to go by data, and then you have to test that data. You have to make a hypothesis if that data is in fact correct. And so I'm going to just go a little bit farther on this, and then excuse me, and then highlight other portions of this article and then move on. All right. So he has not publicly released any such specifics. His defenders point out that any such details would be classified, so it would be illegal to release specifics. They also argue that he handed over the classified details he knew to the Inspector General and Congress and point out it would be a crime to lie to do either. Yet skeptics question whether Grusch is just repeating tall tales that have long been circulated through the UFO believing community, suggesting he may be just a gullible sap, if not an outright fabulist. They also point out that prestigious media sources have so far remained wary of Grusch. The New York Times, Washington Post, and Politico were all offered his story, but none thought it was publishable. The Debrief, which published it, is a notably UFO-friendly outlet, as are Leslie King, Ralph Blumenthal, and the two journalists who wrote the story, and purported bombshells like this in the past have tended to fizzle out. The New York Times and Congress mainstreamed the UFO issue, focusing on weird sky sightings from credible sources. In recent years, the topic of UFOs has gained a surprising amount of mainstream legitimacy due to institutions, the New York Times and Congress. Claims of extraterrestrial craft or life forms and government cover-ups have long been the province of conspiracy theorists, fringe figures, and supermarket tabloids. But the UFO believers found success in recent years by downplaying wild claims of aliens and focusing on what might be called weird shit in the sky. In 2010, independent journalist Leslie King published a book called UFOs, Generals, Pilots, and Government Officials Who Go on the Record, which compiled claims about strange sky sightings in recent decades from the most credible sources she could find, while remaining agnostic on whether these sightings were aliens or something else. The main point was to make the case that these sightings were really happening and leave the explanations till later. John Podesta, the former White House chief of staff for President Clinton, who later served as a top White House aide for both President Obama and President Biden, has been a longtime advocate for UFO disclosure, wrote the book's foreword. Okay, so the thing I want to kind of like go over here, I'm going to skip to this part here. For many, the takeaway was that the Pentagon really was taking UFOs seriously. The reality was more complicated. The program was initially foisted on the Pentagon by Congress at the behest of Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid. Reid had been persuaded by Robert Bigelow, a wealthy donor obsessed with aliens and paranormal, to allot money in government funding bills for this purpose. The program hired Bigelow's company for a contact, and per the New Yorker's Gideon Lewis Krause, doesn't seem to have accomplished very much besides collecting the videos. Skeptics also soon questioned whether Elizondo had exaggerated his role in the program. The twist, though, was that the Times story pushed the federal government toward making a more serious inquiry into unexplained sightings under the justification that, sure, these might not be aliens, but perhaps they could be secretive technology from a foreign adversary that the U.S. needs to understand. Key players in Congress like Senators Mark Rubio and Kirsten Gillibrand started to get UFO reporting and disclosure requirements into congressional government funding bills. The Pentagon publicly announced its Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force in 2020. It was renamed in 2021 and then again in 2022 due to new congressional legislation expanding it. And it is currently known as the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO. This is the office with which Grusch worked. Now, here's, I'm going to go into Tucker Carlson here. I'm just kind of giving like, I'm actually sort of reading some of this for the first time. So forgive me if I don't have this all said perfectly. All right. I'm doing a cold reading here, guys. All right. The new claims, and I emphasize they are claims, are far more mind-boggling, involving crashed UFOs and a government cover-up. Yet, there was another claim that kept bubbling up in the UFO community, that the government wasn't just seeing things, but that it actually had things. Either purported material from crashed vehicles or the vehicles themselves, hard physical evidence. Versions of this claim have been around for decades, but in recent years, it's popped up from several Keene and Blumenthal sources specifically. Louis Elizondo, for instance, told Tucker Carlson in 2019, and here again, I personally want to point out that like Tucker Carlson, was on Fox and is a right-wing, reporter, newscaster and was on a right-wing network. So I just still find it interesting that the networks that it seems that right now, a lot of the networks that are talking about this or even go into UFO disclosure seem to be right-wing. All right, so let's go. Louis Elizondo, for instance, told Tucker Carlson in 2019 that he believed the U.S. government did have material from an aircraft, but said he couldn't go into more detail. The claim, too, got some mainstream media litigation from Blumenthal and King, wrote a follow-up New York Times report in 2020. They quoted Eric Davis, who had worked as a subcontractor and consultant for the Pentagon UFO program, claiming the government had materials from off-world vehicles not made on this earth. Critics questioned the Times' decision to quote Davis, given that he previously opined that psychic teleportation the ability to move your location with mind powers, is quite real and can be controlled. Harry Reid, by then retired, also spoke to the Times. After looking into this, I came to the conclusion that there were reports, some were substantive, some were not so substantive, that there were actual materials that the government and the private sector had in their possession, he said. It is extremely important that information about the discovery of physical materials or retrieved craft come out. Reid elaborated to the New Yorker in 2021 that he was told Lockheed Martin had some materials, but that the Pentagon denied him clearance to review them. Reid also, it should be noted, has a history of making explosive claims that don't turn out to be true. Okay, right there, I'm just going to point out that the reporters now made it an opinion about that. I consider that to be an opinion, not necessarily a fact. So that's my opinion on what that is, for whatever that opinion is worth. Meanwhile, AARO, the expanded Pentagon UFO initiative, was underway, but early reports from it and hearings featuring its officials were underwhelming, not revealing much new of note. So one of the arguments that some people have because of what happened in 2020 and 2019 with Lou Elizondo and the Davis with the Pentagon, people are saying, well, you know what, Grusch really isn't saying anything different than was said before. And I'm just wondering, what do you think about that argument? I mean, do you take it as this guy is just coming out and repeating things that were already in the public domain, and now he's making it, seem like it's more important without having sourcing credible sources? Or do you think it even really matters? Could it be that, more and more people are coming out and claiming the same story? But we have to be careful about, how we're looking. I feel like this kind of needs to be picked apart. I don't think that, I know that there's some people that are, there's Jeff. Hi. I know that some people are, taking this, they're basically, how do I say it? It's like I think there's people in the UFO community that have been, into UFOs, and we've been, there definitely are unidentified flying objects. And there's a whole culture that is a part of YouTube and online that wants, oh my God, this is it, it's disclosure, it's real. And, I've had some of those friends or people that I've known come forward and share links and expound on it. And then I have friends that are really highly skeptical about it. For example, one show that might be really interesting to watch would be Truth Seekers with Stephen Cambion. He's really been covering this. He has his opinion, and there's other voices out there that are looking at this. Jeff, hi. I'm glad to see you here. Okay, so I want to what is Jeff saying here? He is only 35 or 36, quite young to have that type of info in the military. I realize he is a war vet, but he only held his position for 6 months. Oh, I didn't know that. Jeff also says from late 2021 to July 2022, he was the co-lead for UAP analysis at the NGA, and it's representative to the task force. 6 months sounds like an expert in BS. All right. Jeff also has commented in the chat, Grusch has no firsthand experience. Excuse me. Grusch has no firsthand experience or information regarding the subject, and his allegations only concern secondhand information related to him from other sources. And that is true. That's pretty much also what the Fox article is pointing out, is that it's pretty much he's relaying repeat information. 6 months on the job, and now he's an expert. Yeah, right. Right. Politician's life or a living. Well, I really can't dispute that, Jeff. All right. I want to bring up, here's where I think we have to be dangerous. And actually, I like this particular I subscribe to this channel, and by no means am I criticizing this person's channel, but I want to show his take on it a little bit. This is a Cinema Shogun. He mentions an article, but when he sources the article and starts to read it, he doesn't really say where it's from. I did find the article, and I want to show you that this article really isn't the testimony of David Grusch. And I think the way he presented, I think it can be confusing to the viewer. So now I'm gonna share that really quick here and show you like his take on this. Okay, so again, I'm sourcing fair use, and I will make sure that I have a link to him. Hi, Daz. Well, hello from the UK. Thanks for being here. I love it when the UK checks in. Harry Reid was a liar. Well, yeah, I mean, what's that joke? Like, how do you know a politician is lying? Their lips are moving. All right, so let's go ahead and play this here for a minute. And just I want you to see his presentation on the topic.
What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and I have a really crazy story to talk to you all about here today. However, I think this story will help to provide some insight into whatever it is that we're dealing with when it comes to all of these UFOs that everyone seems to be talking about lately. As you all know, as of late, it seems like a lot of people are starting to step forward, revealing information that they have on UFOs and aliens. Just a few days ago, a military whistleblower, a high-ranking intelligence official, basically came out and said that the U.S. government has a special operation that they have made to retrieve crashed UFOs, and that the government has even found dead alien bodies. Now, allegedly, the U.S. is in possession of at least 12 UFOs. And when I say UFOs, I don't just mean unidentified flying objects from other countries. I mean alien UFOs that even had alien bodies in them. Okay? That's what the claims are. Well, now, a military veteran, a former Marine, has broken over 14 years of silence. And he is coming forward. And he is saying, he's claiming that him and his little squad, they actually saw a UFO while they were on a mission. But not just that. This is where it gets crazy. From what he claims, he saw the U.S. military, unmarked U.S. forces, loading this UFO up with weaponry. And that after him and his team saw it, they threatened his life and the future of his entire family. We're going to go ahead and dive right into this story. But first, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you guys enjoy this content, it's totally free to watch and it's totally free to support. All you have to do is hit the thumbs up button and drop a comment down below. Now, if you would like to take things one step further, you can always drop a super thanks. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this story because, man, this might be the craziest story yet. A former Marine claims that he and 5 comrades saw a flying saucer being loaded with weapons while serving in Indonesia in 2009. And he and his team were threatened at gunpoint by unmarked U.S. forces at the scene. Michael Herrera was a 20-year-old rifleman sent on a Navy humanitarian mission during the 2009 Sumatra earthquake and tsunami that devastated the region.
Okay, so I want to
In
stop
an
this.
exclusive interview.
The article, again, the article that he's reading is from the Daily Mail, all right? And so I don't know about you, but I don't trust the Daily Mail totally. I wouldn't say it's like this, the one, the kind of rag magazines that do Alien Boy or anything like that. But it tends to be sensationalized. But I did find the article and I want to bring it up and I want to share it with you just to kind of show you where this article is. Like I looked at his video and he's not sourcing the article, but I'll make sure that I source this article here after I'm done. I'll make myself do it. Sometimes I say I'll source it and then I forget to put the information down. And I'll make sure that I put his video down too. So if you want to subscribe to him or follow his stuff, I don't know if you're familiar with Cinema Shogun, and I'm gonna get to your guys's I'm gonna get to you guys' responses here in a bit too. All right, so here is the article, and it's exclusive. Marine vet breaks 14-year-old silence to make astonishing claim that his 6-man unit saw hovering octagonal UFO being loaded with weapons by unmarked U.S. forces who threatened them at gunpoint while serving in Indonesia in 2009. So this happened. So obviously this is 14 years ago. He's coming forward now, I guess. This was published on Friday, 2023 by Josh Boswell for DailyMail.com. So Herrera claims an Air Force lieutenant colonel told him, "You're not allowed to talk about what happened. You'll go to prison or you will die." He says he was emboldened to break his 14-year-old silence by UFO whistleblower protections in April and testify under oath about his wild story. So, I mean, here these guys are being told that they're going to die. They say this. He holds on to the information for 14 years. But we have we have whistleblowers, technically Carrie Cassidy whistleblowers like Corey Good coming forward with the chicken, people. I thought of something kind of funny last night. I was like, to me, it was kind of funny because could you imagine if they go, well, because David Grusch is claiming that according to what he understands from his higher ups, that he's heard from the people who have this data, that there was, life flying that aircraft that's not human. And I go, wouldn't it be hilarious if they were actually blue chickens? Could you imagine if they were really go, oh my God, they really are real. I totally don't believe in the blue chicken theory, but as you can see, there's been so many people that have hopped onto this gravy train and within this online community and created all these different stories. All right, so a former Marine claims he and 5 comrades saw a flying saucer being loaded with weapons while serving in Indonesia in 2009. He was threatened at gunpoint by unmarked U.S. forces at the scene. The wild story comes after Air Force whistleblower from the government's UFO office joined growing numbers of intelligence officials claiming the U.S. has recovered and is even reverse engineering crashed or landed non-human spacecraft. Michael Herrera was a 20-year-old rifleman sent on a Navy humanitarian mission during the 2009 Sumatra earthquake and tsunami that devastated the region. And then an exclusive interview with Daily Mail, he claims that while guarding an airdrop of aid supplies outside the city of Padang in October that year, his 6-man unit stumbled across a hovering octagonal craft in apparent use by clandestine U.S. forces. And, you know, I don't know. Sometimes when I look at pictures of people and they got their gun, it just seems so. Well, I know like the military hires photographers and stuff, so that's part of it to cover, you know, within that. You know, so, but it just seems like such a posed picture to me. And you know, there's the craft, and the thing of it is that to me this looks so like designed by humans. And even like if you look at like the triangle, there's the triangle here. It's just like it's very what we've seen on 70s like space sitcoms. Oops, I didn't mean to go there. Okay. The craft was rotating in a clockwise motion while changing colors. I mean, it had an audible hum to it, like the sound of a transformer or a guitar amp. It was octagonal shape with a pyramid at the top of it that was black, Herrera said. See, that's the part I'm kind of like, oh, really? After 14 years of silence, Herrera was emboldened by a new UFO whistleblower protections and in April testified under oath to the government UFO investigation team, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, as well as Senate committee. He provided his unblemished 4-year service record and text about the incident with an alleged fellow witness who refused to talk, saying it was not worth my life or jeopardizing my family. Peripheral aspects of his account were verified by dailymail.com using military sources, but Herrera, 33 of all ages, does not have documentation or photos of the incident itself. See, he doesn't have photos or documentation, but he's got a photo of himself with his gun with a spliff coming out of his mouth, right? So, you know, see, that's the thing that there's like, yeah, it's just a testimony. There's still no smoking gun. There's still no actually real data to collect. And so until we have real data to collect, I can't, I don't know about you guys, but I can't go there. I gotta know, I gotta see it. I gotta see pictures. And even if it's pictures, you gotta think, well, are these pictures doctor? I mean, like we're living in a time. We're living in a time, okay, and I'm not saying that I don't want to think this is true. I'm just saying we need these final things because we're living in a time where, you know, people don't even believe the moon landing happened, or they don't believe that the moon landing happened the way that it was. I know I see a little. Facebook. Hey, you liked it on Facebook. Thank you. I didn't realize it's the first time I've seen a like coming from the other place. Ben says might be secret aircraft. It could be. But my thought is like it's time for it not to be secret anymore. We need to see it. But I have to admit it's getting pretty exciting right now. So okay, so Bob Marley's here. Hi, Bob Marley. You're saying don't believe she's Irish. Are you talking about me? I actually am I'm part Irish. Although Joyce isn't my real last name, my mother's last name is of Irish descent, but I don't want to like really say it. And my grandfather was Irish. Yeah, so I have Irish blood actually. So yeah, I really am Irish. I mean, but I have like 6 different nationalities. So if that was geared towards me. Lazar is a fraud. Jeff saying that Lazar is a fraud. Pavana's saying fraud for what? He made no money off of it. And then Pavana's saying he was also harassed. Electropid said yes, for sure. Electropig and fear porn about alien invasions have no evidence for some reason. Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of fear porn to it. I agree with that. Jeff says if they are unmarked, how does he know they were U.S. forces? He has made tons of money off of it. This is a reference to Bob Lazar. He just bought a ranch 2 hours north of me. His website sells tons of merch. Evening, Ben. Hey, okay. Is it evening for you? It's actually it's almost 3 o'clock where I'm at in the afternoon. So it doesn't mean he's lying. Oh, about making money. Electropid says actually he sold electronic stuff for about 30 years, but hey, I guess there's no money in that, huh? All right. The Irish question. Tavana says, you think we're the most intelligent advanced beings in the entire universe? That's cray cray. I agree with you. I trust me. I don't think. I hope that we're not the most intelligent beings on the planet. I really do. And speaking of that, there's something else I'm going to bring up before I go that has to do with anthropology. Probably not much higher than the politicians. I mean, at least in the cocaine sense, anyway. Lazar was a documented criminal long before the start of his UFO hoax. His second wife just got out of prison for murder. No way would Lazar pass a background check for a 54 base. Jeff says Area 54 doesn't even exist. Okay, yeah, that's that other area that he was talking about. That's not 51. Octagonal, like the one shot down into Lake Huron. Okay, so there, I'm not familiar with the one that was shot down on Lake Huron. I'll make sure to look it up. What's Stephen doing? He's been quiet. You know what, Bob Marley? I'm not sure about Stephen. Are you talking about Stephen D. Kelly? Because Stephen Cambion's been really busy, but Stephen D. Kelly, I don't know what he's been doing. I don't follow his media anymore. But Stephen Cambion's been quite active on this particular topic. Pavana says, never heard any of that anywhere. Jeff is saying, look it up. Oh, Truth Seeker, Stephen. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, he did a stream. Like, I don't think he's done a stream since maybe Thursday or Friday. Matter of fact, I can take a look at him really quick. Truth Seekers. Let's see what Stephen's been doing. Because I've watched some of Stephen Cambion's coverage on this. Now, he on Facebook, I will say that Stephen Cambion is saying that Twitter is shadow banning people, including himself, that are not buying this narrative. And so I guess there's a way to look up if you've been shadow banned or not. So let's see, what is Stephen doing? I'm clicking onto him right now. I'm just looking to see. His last live was 3 days ago. So, and you know, I'm going to show, I'm going to give you his link, because if you want to go through his commentary on this, you know, you can. So here's his link in the chat. And So, and then I'm going to share a screen on this channel so you can see it for a second. So there it is. Yeah. And then these are the last few shows he's done on it. Okay. Okay. Ben. I got a Skype notation. Electropid von Fackengruben. I'm sure the universe is capable of better. What's this one? Yeah, if angels or aliens are real, like Gary Nolan says, see all and we are all killing each other, right? Oh, it's almost 11 where you're at. Cool. Oh my God, you're from Ireland. I'm from Wexford, Ireland. Respect and top of the morning to you. Oh, wow. Nice to meet you. That's exciting. Welcome, Ireland. I'd love to go to Ireland sometime. I really want to go. I want to go to the UK. I want to go to England. I want to go to Ireland. And I'd really like to go to Spain. And I wouldn't mind going to Italy and France as well. Oh, look, I got to travel, man. I got to get it together and see Europe a little bit. Yeah, bedtime soon. I'm gonna pop off here pretty soon. I'm gonna end up. It's like I wasn't meaning to live stream too long. It was just kind of a short thing. Again, first of all, I'm going to do a shameless plug for myself for a second. If you want to support my efforts here on my channel and coverage on different topics, this one being one of them, this is how you can support me. Again, I am monetized. I've got super chats. If you're watching this video, please like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay. So, and then the last thing I want to show you guys is another video, and I'm not going to play it because it's actually CNN, but I'm going to show you the what video it is. I'm going to put it in the chat as well. There's new evidence now. There's a new type of they found a new type of like hominin, not necessarily not human, but one of the oldest life form that has been discovered. There's a change in anthropology happening right now, and just in case I grab a little bit of it, I should probably change my banner here just in case. Okay, so let me share this and show it to you. The Dr. Lee Berger has a book coming out in August, and they were able to go into a cave, and I'm going to just read the description here. Paleoanthropologist Dr. Lee Berger and his team of underground astronauts have uncovered evidence that members of a mysterious archaic human species buried their dead and carved symbols on cave walls long before the earliest evidence of burials from modern humans. And I think that this particular species is predating Lucy even. It might even be like one of the, I think it predates Lucy. I got to double check. But the theory is, and I was talking about this last night, because we talked about, Terrence McKenna, said that, mushrooms and fungi was part of the evolution of the human species, that they would be able to understand consciousness. And in anthropology, the theory is that when man started to think and do art and, hunt and speak and communicate and, eventually, do farming and build communities, and, the evolution of us happened because we started to eat protein and our brains got larger. But now that this particular paleoanthropologist is saying that that's not true, because these remains that they found that were buried in this cave that were done like like a ritual burial, came from ancient archaic human species that had a small brain. It was like only 3 something, whatever. Like it wasn't like the big brains that we have now. Now, actually, the one species that had the largest brain ever was the Neanderthals. They had the biggest brain. Our brain's a little smaller than theirs. Just so you know. Anyway, so I thought I would bring that fact up really quick because I mentioned it last night, and I thought it was kind of interesting that that I found this video. And this video was only published like 4 days ago. So this is like June 7th, 2023. So this is like, it's really breaking news. So if you want to watch that video, if you got an interest in it, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat as well. All right, so you guys, thank you for whoops. Oh, come on. Get out. I'm in the banner section. Mario's Taco. I was just thinking about you. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to have you here. I finally caught up with your show. Yeah, well, my show kind of veered off of this particular topic, so I'm back on it again, which I'm happy. Hi. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I was just I've been covering, like the last couple of days. I decided to join in and get into the conversation about this whistleblower. And one more time, I want to show you and give you the link to where you can vote what you think. If you go to my community page, I have posted a poll of whether or not you think that UFO whistleblower David Charles, do you believe him or not? And I'm gonna share the screen. There's a little bit of a shift from what I quoted before the show started, but 17% so far have said yes, and 83% say no. So go over and join into the poll, and then on another show I'll give it a little bit of time and give the results. Maybe I'll just kind of update it over time and see where as this unfolds, we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? That's the exciting part of it all. Also, I'm going to go back to this banner again. To support my channel. And I also want to let you know, like, places that you can find me. Again, I am simultaneously live streaming this on my Twitter. So on my Twitter, I'm at Terry Joyce. That's TEREJOYCE. Please follow me there. I'm on Facebook. My regular Facebook page is just Terry Joyce. And then I have a Not My Rabbit Hole with Terry Joyce fan page where I, right now, that's this particular, it's live streaming on my fan page at the moment. So I want to thank you guys for coming in, and it's good to see some of you guys that I haven't seen in a while. Thanks for being Bob Marley. It's great to see you here from Ireland. Mario Tacos, it's good to see you come in again, Marios. Ben, always a pleasure in the UK. I really appreciate Jeff for being here and being a monitor to my chat. Daz is here. Pavana came in. Shout out to Pavana. And so hopefully I don't miss anybody. Let me see. Electro Pig von Falkengruven. Electro Pig, you got to come on my panel sometime again. Yeah, I should. I'm probably going to start like a few more panel shows. More specifically on these kind of topics and other things. So I think that will be fun too. I'm planning on doing that in the future. But until next time, again, I'm gonna kind of sign off here with Epidemic Sound. And I will maybe even start with the song that I started with. I should probably nail down and get like a theme song and like one of those kind of intros that Stephen Cambion does. I know he has different ones, but I should probably have like, I should decide on a specific beat or whatever. Maybe let me have like a voting contest on that. Like, do you like this song or do you like this opening? And kind of make it fun. So this song is a little bit sassy. So I'm gonna sign off with this one. And I hope you all have a great Sunday.
Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Don't take it personally. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Don't take it personally. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Don't take it personally.
Blame it on the party, blame it on the booze. Grab a gun if you want it. Make fake news on the news. Wipe your tears, cry, baby, baby, baby. Ooh, it's not about you. I don't even get it. Why you got the blues and the world on your shoulders? Walk in every shoe, wipe your tears, drink up and dance like we all lose. It's not about you.
Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Personally, personally. Don't take it personally. Don't take it.
Blame it on the party, blame it on the booze. Grab a gun if you want it. Make fake news on the news. Wipe your tears, cry, baby, baby, baby. Ooh, it's not about you. Baby, baby, ooh. I don't even get it. Why you got the blues and the world on your shoulders? Walk in every shoe, wipe your tears, drink up and dance like we all lose. It's not about you.
Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Highly emotional, baby. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Personally, personally. Don't take it personally. Don't
Boom.